Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Tyler Talks Travel Trailers here at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we're about to tour the 18.2 No Boundaries with the Beast Mode package. Obviously, I've done this. I did this tour about 8 months ago on a 2025 model. I think I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten crazy amount of comments and questions about measurements and different aspects of this trailer. I figured it'd be smart to just redo a whole new one. But the main reason I am doing another tour on a 2025 No Boundaries 18.2 is because this is a factory fresh 18.2. We just got it yesterday. We are at the tail end of the year, so we usually try to get a couple more 25s right before the 26 model comes in, just to save you money. And also, if you like the changes that were made or weren't made, you know, like on the 26 models, the sync is completely changed. And I know a lot of you guys love the sync that they put in the 2025 model. So that's why I'm redoing this whole tour, because if you're out there and you like this floor plan and you also don't want the changes that they made on the 26 models, I've got one that's factory fresh. It hasn't been sitting here for, you know, all year long. The last one we had, I think I sold it within 3 or 4 days, and it was off of YouTube too. So I'd imagine if there's someone out there that is looking for this floor plan fresh and has all the same features and options that you're looking for, I think this thing is going to sell quick. It's also going to save you a lot of money versus the 26 models. I believe they went up, you know, 2 or 3 grand because of all the tariffs and stuff going on like that. Second reason you should buy this one is because a lot of people don't know this, but we are a sunshine law state here in New Mexico, which means that you can get our sales tax, which is 4%, without having a physical address here. So you can get our sales tax without a physical address, because I know like a lot of places like Arizona, Texas, they have a base tax, which could be like 6.2%, like in Arizona, and then they have county and city multipliers. So the average tax in Arizona is about 8.2%, and then it goes all the way up to 11.9% depending on the county you live in. So come by here, you'll save a bunch of money. We still have a discounted rate even though it is fresh, it hasn't been here long, and you'll also save a lot on your taxes. Not to mention registering it every year, you're gonna save hundreds, thousands of dollars down the road, because registering something like this every year in New Mexico will be like 35 bucks roughly, versus some places like Nevada, I've heard it could be like 600 bucks to register an RV every year. So you'll save money on the upfront taxes, and you'll also save thousands down the road registering it every year. So it's pretty simple, no brainer. Come here, come buy this unit. And also, this is the 18.2. This thing is on fire this year. The thing that I love about this layout so much is that it's an 8-foot wide box without a slide out, and it is just perfect. It's also got the taco stand. I said that in my last video, and it seems like a lot of other people are starting to call it the taco stand. So this is a really great floor plan. It's a couples coach, lightweight. It's got the Beast Mode package, and we are going to stop talking. But first, like always, we are going to do the specs. It takes me 1 minute to do those specs, and then we'll dive inside. Let's go, guys. So the basic specs on this 2025 No Boundaries 18.2. Your unloaded vehicle weight is 4,143 pounds. Your cargo carrying capacity is 1,227 pounds, which brings your potential fully loaded weight to 5,370 pounds. Your hitch weight is 500 pounds. Your exterior length is 21 feet 8 inches total. Your exterior height is 11 feet 1 inch. Your exterior width is 8 feet. Your tanks, your fresh water tank is 30 gallons. Your gray water tank is 30 gallons. And your black tank is 30 gallons. Your awning size is 14 feet. Let's jump inside. All right, everybody, now that we've got the specs done, we will start with the inside, work our way to the outside. We are gonna cover a lot of construction, features, options, as well as measurements. So I try to be as in-depth as possible. Like I said, I did this tour about 8 months ago, and I personally think I've gotten a lot better at these tours and giving you a little more information. So I figured it'd be a good idea to do a tour, not only because of that reason, but because this is a factory fresh 2025 No Boundaries 18.2. This thing is awesome. I love this layout. It does not feel like it doesn't have a slide out. Moving on, we will start with this back half, or this back part of the trailer, which is going to be your kitchen. It's always nice to kind of have the kitchen next to the door, because when you're cooking or loading it with groceries or anything like that, it's just easy to get in and out. And if you're like me and you burn stuff, having that door open might help. But the one thing I want to start out with is this sink, because this is the one thing they're taking out of the 2026 models. So if that was something you really loved, like I said, I got one right here for you. It's fresh. But the reason why everyone seems to love this sink is you have a bunch of little kind of trays and bins and tools you can use. But it basically is your farm style sink. I know it's not a true farm style sink. That is just what the industry calls it. But there's a lot of different ways that you can use this. So you have your waterfall spout right here, which is pretty nice. And all you do is turn this little dial to have it come out here. Or you could turn it to where it comes out on this top nozzle up here, so you can spray stuff off, spray off the vegetables, things like that. Now on the 26 models, it's just like this thing that turns, and then it's a waterfall, and that's strictly it. You have your soap dispenser. You also have, that's how you shut off the plumbing. So if you want to fill the sink, that's how you shut it. And then you have your cup cleaner right here. So when you want to clean some cups, throw it on there, and it'll swoosh it around. The 26 will have this cup cleaner still, just not all of this nice stuff. So you got your cutting tray right here. You know, if you're chopping stuff up, you can cut stuff up, slide it over here into this nice metal heavy duty tray. As you can see, it's got a little bit of antifreeze in it, but that is nice. When you want to bring this down, spray stuff off or spray from there. And let's say you're dry camping and you don't want to waste any water, but you need to fill something up. You don't have to fill up your entire sink with water. You could bring this over, and then you have a plug, and you could fill just this up. So kind of some nice tools that they did give you that you can utilize. And then you have your strainer right there. All in nice metal too. Feels good. Feels like a good quality sink. The sink is a good size. Like I said, stainless steel sink. It's going to be 14 by 25 and 8 inches deep. So a nice deep sink right there with all the trays that you can use as you're cooking. Kind of a bummer that they took that out on the 2026. I have no idea. I'm going to ask them. That way the next video we do, I'll have an answer for you guys, because I don't get it. I love that sink. Over here you got your stove top. This kind of serves all as prep space. So let's say you're just making sandwiches, you don't need to use the stove. This is flipped down, which you can use as prep space. If the stove top is down, you got 23.5 by 29 right there. So almost a nice squared out area, you know, to make sandwiches or whatever you need to do. But then when you're ready to use the stove, flip this back. You got your backsplash for your grease. And then right here, a little bit of prep space. So if you got stuff cut up, you can set it right here. That's going to be 11.5 by 23.5 right there for that counter space. Then when you're done, flip this back over. And then up above, you do have your light fan combo. It will actually pull outside, so there is a vent out there. And check it out. You got a microwave. No, not just a microwave. You got an air fryer, baby. Look at that. So you got an air fryer and your microwave and convection. So this does not have an oven, but they definitely made up for it with this air fryer right here. We use ours a ton. I didn't think I'd use it a lot, but we do. It's not super massive. Everything is a little bit smaller in these travel trailers. To the left, you do have some storage up above. Just keep in mind, this is a couples coach, so you don't need to bring the entire kitchen along. You know, bring 3 plates, 3 bowls, 3 cups, whatever you feel like you need. But pretty decent storage. That's gonna be 13 by 33 and 14.5. I always mention it. I like these magnets versus the rolly pins. Those rolly pins do stretch out over time, and the last thing you want is all your plates broken on the floor. The 2026 model is going to have like a different tone of gray. It's a little lighter, but I like the green. It looks good with the gold accented handles. You got your hidden hinges, raised beveled edge. Just looks nice and sleek. I always say it. Surveyor and Nobo have the best interiors. Down below, you do have more storage, easy access to your plumbing. I did forget to measure that one. I'm sorry, guys. But there's your plumbing right there. Undermount sink. That's what a subscriber said I need to start saying, because I get it every time. It is not a farm style sink. Stop saying that. It's just what they call it. So I'm going to start saying undermount sink. Nice big undermount sink right there. Stainless steel, baby. Look at the edge too. The live edge, is that what it's called? I think you guys have told me this before. You got live edge for your countertops. Looks good. And some drawers. Woo! Sometimes they forget about drawers for all your utensils. So you got 4 drawers. They're going to be 18 by 20 and 3.5 inches deep. Not super deep, but they gave you 4, and that should suffice for all of your utensils and things like that you'll bring along. You do have a plug in this area of the kitchen. It'll be right here. So if you want to put your Keurig coffee pot right there, you can. And then USB and USB-C, so these will run off of the battery, and we will get into solar and stuff like that later. But moving on out of the kitchen, you do have your 10 cubic foot 12 volt refrigerator, and I like the way that it opens, so that way when you're running in to load it, it goes this way versus this way. That'd be really annoying. But I like 12 volt fridges because they cool so much faster than the gas electric. Usually it takes, you have to have it on the night before. These, you'll feel them getting cold within like 10-15 minutes. It'll feel like it's already getting a little chilly. It's also deeper because it doesn't have those metal coils back there. So they've pretty much phased out the gas electric. And then you have your separate freezer up here. Nice deep freezer. Pretty standard fridge. Moving on to the living area, and probably the best part of this entire trailer. We are just gonna hit it straight on. Whoa, bam! Look at that taco stand, baby. How awesome is that? It's like a little taco stand. But you got your bar table, bar stools, and one thing I wish they would have done is reverse this. It would have been cool if they put the lighter, the sunshade up here. That way, if you wanted to, you could bring the black one up for a little privacy and still see out. But I'm just nitpicking. But you got your day and night shade, your privacy shade, and then if you want to get crazy, you could throw this all the way up, throw this down, and serve those tacos. Check that out. How awesome is that? I don't know anyone that wouldn't like that. That's really cool. Another thing that I'm nitpicking on is a grab handle would have been kind of nice, but you could bring it down like this and then put you down real quick. Because of the lift, it is a little higher on the outside. So you could get a step stool too, but I just turned that. But massive window. This window's 34 by 46. Imagine just hanging out. I always use Oregon as an example because I love it out there. If you guys know, I'm going next week. But imagine just kicking back in the Redwood, Northern California, enjoying your lunch. Say you want to crack open that window, throw this screen up. Then you don't have any mosquitoes or bugs coming in, but you're getting that nice fresh air. Maybe you're on the Oregon coast and you pop that window all the way open. Just super fun. I love this setup. And like I said, this unit, we had it for 3 days and we haven't had one since. So that's why I wanted to get this out to you guys. If you are looking for one, I got one. This bar table area is going to be 16 by 48. So it's not just a little rinky-dink bar table that you can't put stuff on. If you need to work from home, maybe bring your laptop along, you can. And then you also have plenty of room to put some food on there and enjoy your dinner. You do have one plug here, so if you need to put your Keurig here, that might be a good spot because of, there's not as much over there. So you do have a plug there and your nice bar stools. Pretty much it's going to be the same exact trailer on the 26, just some very small details, and they took away the sink. And I will be touring that as soon as it gets here. It should be here any day, but look at that. Doesn't that look good? The stitching on your bar stools, they sit nicely, and you can also kind of clip them in so that way they're not moving around on you when you're going down the road. You do have some storage right here. Just some added storage, maybe for some of your entertainment needs. It goes all the way back over there, and it's going to be 8 by 45 and 17 inches tall for that spot and down here. So equal height and width and length and all that good stuff for that storage underneath the bar table. Probably the best thing is this. It's so cool. Now you see everyone copying that flip up window. It is just a game changer this year. It's fun. And if you're in the high country, you don't need to run your air conditioner. How nice is it to be able to just, you know, open a window and let all that fresh air in. Down below, you got a really nice feature to keep this place clean. You got your road vac, woo! And you have a couple options. You got your attachments right here with the long hose and the longer extension. So if you need to, you know, clean up some dirt that's come in after you're done camping, you could do that. It's got definitely some good suction. And then you know that dirt that you just can't seem to get up when you are sweeping, you just flip this up, bam! How cool is that? That is not 12 volt though, so you do need to be plugged into a generator or shore power for that vacuum system to work. But a really nice way to keep this place clean when you're coming in and out. Moving on behind me. Like I said, this does not have a slide out. And it feels like a slide. Just think about no maintenance, no worries, one less thing to worry about, but it still feels like you have a slide. Now, the width, I'm talking from right here with these pushed right up against the cabinets all the way to the couch. You got 2 feet 8 inches of walk space right here. So you can easily have someone sitting there and here without, you know, not having room to get by. If you even move these over, you'll have tons of space. So if you have a bigger dog or anything like that, the floor space is fantastic in this unit because they did that 8 foot wide box. Usually they do 7.5 feet wide in these smaller Nobos. So I'm really happy they finally did what people have been asking for this year. So from the chairs to the couch, you got 2 feet 8 inches, or if you move those, you can get a lot more space. This is like a love seat, and I showed it in the last video. You could sleep someone there, but they'd have to be like a child or really short. But you got these end tables, you know, if you need to work from here, pretty nice. They're a good size. You can remove these and move them around as well. They are roughly 24 by 13. It's kind of hard to tell because they kind of have some wonky shape to it, but as you can see, pretty good. You got your cup holder for those cold snacks. And like I said, if you did want to, you can take those off, and I will, so I could show you the bed down. So this is kind of like a futon. It lays flat, so you'll lift this. You do have storage down below. I did forget to measure that. I'm sorry, guys. But it does lay flat, and if I show you, what the heck? I don't think you're gonna be sleeping too many people right there. My camera is following me, so when you see me do this, it's because I'm getting it to stop. This technology is too fancy these days. So right here, and I measured what you're actually sitting on. If you look at online, they'll measure from like right here to the other side. This middle area right here is going to be 3 feet 10 inches. So like I said, if you use it as a bed, it's going to probably be more for a child, 46 inches or 3 feet 10 inches. But a little cozy love seat right there. Kick back, you know, you don't always want to have to sit at the bar. You go hiking or anything like that, you can get yourself an ottoman and kick your legs up. Up above, you do have some storage all the way across, maybe for some more of your board games and things like that. I like this two-tone that they do. You know, the off-white or the white and the green. It looks good. Contrasting colors. This is going to be 12 by 54 and 14 inches tall for that storage all right there. This does have a 13.5 BTU air conditioner. It is cold. I have it on right now. It's on low, but this thing will definitely frost you out. Plenty of AC for this size of unit. And also talking about your interior height. If you're wanting to know from the floor to the ceiling what kind of headroom you got 6 feet 6 inches of headroom, 78 inches of interior height right there for this trailer. You do have a little pantry that I did forget to show you right here. This is going to be great storage for all your food and snacks. Almost floor to ceiling storage right there. And then because your gas furnace is right there, but definitely utilize this however you feel you need to. You can't remove these like some trailers, so they are stuck where they're at. Each one of these is going to be 14.5 by 23.5, and they range from 14 inches tall, 14 inches tall, down to 16 inches tall. So you got some variations of height right there, because obviously not everything is the same height. You do have this very feng shui heritage groove clipsh. How do you say clipsh? Clipsh. Portable radio, pretty cool. I'm not sure they give you these anymore on the 26 models, but that's pretty fun. You could take it out wherever you're at, go outside and use that. Moving on to the front of the trailer, probably the biggest thing I heard was, yes, it is an east-west facing bed, and I had a lot of people calling me. Let me put these back. I had a lot of people calling me and asking me, hey, can you turn that bed? Because they're like, well, we'll just build something to hang off, you know, on this, like over here, so that way you could make it north-south. And so I did measure how much room you got right here on this side. So you got 23.5 inches from the couch to here. A lot of options you got right there. You could even add more storage, some more bins, you know, shelves, stuff like that. 23.5 inches from the couch to the bed. And I did turn the bed. I turned it earlier, and it touches the couch. So you can't, no matter what you do, you can't really turn the bed and be able to get out both ways. So you are stuck with the east-west facing bed. The one thing I love about this east-west facing bed is it's 60 by 80. It is a true queen, and I don't lie to you guys. I say it every time. These RV mattresses kind of suck. It don't matter what brand you get, you're probably going to want to add a topper or go buy your own mattress. So that's why I'm saying 60 by 80 is a true residential queen, so you can go out and get yourself a nice mattress, Tempur-Pedic. Otherwise, usually they'll do an RV queen, which is 60 by 74. A lot of times you'll see that, so keep an eye out for that when you're out looking at trailers, if that's important to you. So love that. 60 by 80. Over here to the right, you do have your hanging wardrobe with the little fancy light, and that is going to be 12 by 17 and 32 inches tall for the hanging wardrobe. Show that to you one more time. Glass inlay, that looks fantastic. Down below you do have one drawer, nothing crazy. 8 by 15 and 3.5 for that drawer. Those are the rolly pins that I was telling you about. See those ones? This isn't like super serious on these ones, because most likely you're just gonna have socks in these. But when they use that, like on the kitchens and stuff, it can be a little tough, you know, because those do stretch out. Down below, you do have a standard plug as well as USB and USB-C. So if you need a, like I said, you could put a nightstand right here if you want. If you need a CPAP machine, you got a place to maybe put a table or anything like that. Down below, you got some storage. I did forget to measure this one, sorry guys. But it's pretty deep, about 18 inches long. Right there. This one is going to be kind of like a dummy door, because you have some of your components and stuff like that wiring behind there. They do give you a little cubby over here on the front, or the front of this bed, and a plug right there with USB and USB-C. You could kind of, you know, charge stuff, whatever you feel like you need to put there. And as you can see, it does have that front windshield. I love the front windshield because it lets in a lot of natural light. You can see a nice view. Albuquerque, New Mexico, big skies, baby. Look at that. It is a beautiful day. And then you do have your shade right here as well. Do not be too concerned. I get people that are worried about cracking their windshield and stuff like that going down the road. There's a lot of ways you can protect it. They make covers, a lot of stuff. So don't be too concerned. I personally would want the front windshield. It's really nice. Up above, you have storage. So basically, wall-to-wall storage all the way across. And I think I put it right here. It does have a rounded front, so the height does vary, but that'll go all the way across. That's going to be 19 by 94 and 12 inches tall of storage that goes all the way across. maybe for some of those winter clothes, stuff like that. Moving on. Behind me, you do have your 12 volt, 32-inch smart TV, and it does swivel. So I always have subscribers ask me to show from different angles. But as you can see, it is 12 volts, so you don't have to be hooked up to a generator or shore power. So if we're sitting over here at the couch, it's pretty comfy. Look at that. This is from this side, and then this is from the other side of the couch. So everything is placed pretty good to be able to see the TV. Even from right here, you could kind of turn it a little more from the chairs. See? Watch the game or whatever. And like I said, it is a smart TV, so it's got all the apps ready to go. And then this is from the bed. So I think the TV is actually pretty nicely placed. If you're like me, I like to watch TV in bed. You can easily see it from bed. So pretty much every area of the trailer, you're going to be able to see that TV. Lots of windows in this, as you can see, both sides, so you can get a cross breeze going here. That one window alone is probably going to be plenty, since you can pop that open. But overall, we will move on to the bathroom. So, as we're walking, I'll talk about solar. This does have 400 watts of solar and an 1800 watt inverter. That's if you get the Beastmode package. If you don't get the Beastmode package, I think you get 200 watts instead of the 400 watts. So you lose a lot of different things if you don't get the Beastmode package, and I'll try to point them out as we go through it. But that is definitely one. You get more solar and an inverter in the Beastmode. Moving on to the bathroom. As you know, I always tell you guys, sit on the toilet, make sure it's comfortable. Last thing you want to do is get on a commode that isn't comfortable, and a lot of people don't realize it until they're out using it. So knee room, you got plenty, because if you really wanted to, you could stretch your legs out. But if we're talking from the toilet to the shower, you got 15 inches of kind of like foot room right there. And then I'll turn you around. Not bad. I'm not the biggest guy, so they kind of curve this countertop. So if you're right-handed, left-handed, a little less room. But you can't expect a lot in the trailer that doesn't have a slide, and it's only, I think, like, what did I say, 21 feet? It's not super big, so not a terrible bathroom. If we turn you around, I'm actually surprised you have counter space and a sink in this. Sometimes they don't even give you either of those. The counter space right here, pretty good. If you want to bring your straightener, hair dryer, and stuff along, you got your plug. That's going to be 10 by 21 right there. And your sink, it's rounded, so it's kind of a rough measurement. It's going to be 8 by 11 and 5.5 inches deep. Brush your teeth, do what you need to do. And then up above, you do have your medicine cabinet, your mirror. Pretty standard stuff right there. Man, this thing has been selling like crazy. The amount of calls I got for this layout from the first video I did was nuts. Like, I sold it too fast, and I haven't been able to replace it. So that's why I wanted to do this video for those of you out there that did call me. You do got the big fart fan, baby. Got the big blades, got 4 speeds. It'll actually pull some air out for that condensation or the potential smell. It does not have the rain cover, but that is definitely something very simple to add if you would want to. Let's see, where's your lights? Your lights will be right here. We'll get into that here in just a second. We are going to do some measurements in the shower, kind of show you a reference. Remember, if I put my hand up, it's because my camera's following me. So I am 5'7", 157 pounds. You know, I could take somewhat of a step for mankind. It does have the skylight, so that does give you a little extra height as well as natural light. Kind of show you where the shower head is. It's actually at a good height. It's above my head. You'd be surprised. A lot of companies, they put it like at your shoulder. It's super weird. And I'm not the tallest guy, so I'm sure that could be frustrating for those of you that are taller out there. This does kind of have a rounded shower curtain. See that? So it does give you a little more shoulder room when you're doing what you need to do, scrubbing off, you know what I mean? So it has like a little curve to it. If we're talking about the shower pan, what kind of size you got? Shower room, you got 22 by 32 for that shower pan. And then also from the floor to the skylight, you are looking at 6 feet 4 inches. So if you're, like I always say, if you're 6'5", you're gonna be in the Space Dome. 6 feet 4 inches, 76 inches of height from the pan to the skylight. I always get this asked, does it have the shower miser? It does not have the shower miser, but I promise you that could be added very easily. Do not worry. Moving on, behind me, I always think this is kind of funky. Like they, Nobo and Surveyor, probably RPod and Ibex, all of them, they split up their control panel, so it's not all in one location. So this is half of it. You got all of your readings right here, battery fresh, black and gray, so you'll actually be able to see what's going on with that. You do have your 30 amp solar controller to monitor what's going on with your batteries. Like I said, 400 watts of solar and a 2000 watt inverter. The next thing that I'm going to be talking about is a huge feature if you're someone that likes to camp in cold weather, and I'm assuming a lot of you do that because this is a pretty off-road capable trailer and you're probably hunting and stuff like that. So what this is basically it's a feature where you won't freeze your tanks and crack them. There's 2 real main ways to keep your tanks from freezing. They do say radiant heat, but I don't really count that. But you can have an enclosed and heated underbelly, so there's actually heat going to it. And then you also have 12 volt heat pads. I would say this is a must if I was getting a trailer to go in cold weather, because these are 12 volts. So let's say, for instance, you're driving from Arizona into Colorado and it is a cold state. It's cold in Arizona and it's freezing temps. What if your tanks are full? You would not be able to go down the road with your heater running. That is definitely not safe. So these, flip those on. You could drive down the road, no problem, get to your campsite and not have to worry about your tanks being frozen or cracking because you couldn't run your heater. One thing I also like is that if you're out fishing or hiking or anything, do you really want to have to keep your heater running the whole time you're gone to keep those tanks from freezing? Because if you do, then you're going to be wasting propane. What's nice about Nobo is you got both options. You got the 12 volt heat pads, heated and enclosed underbelly. It is all there for you. So this is a very capable trailer for cold weather. Woo boy. Yeah. I have a feeling this thing's going to sell pretty quick once I get this posted. If you're new to the channel, I do lives every Sunday, Mountain Standard, or 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and you could jump on. Don't worry, I won't see you, but you can ask me questions live and I'll answer them live. I can even show you a bunch of options on our lot. So I usually tour trailers with customers. You know, they just tell me what they're looking for. Really fun. So Sunday, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This Sunday I will be live. But like I said, I'm going to Oregon next week. So I might do a live out there on the beach. I might not. But if you guys don't hear from me, I'm out there crabbing and fishing in Depot Bay. Yeah. All right, we will move on outside. Show you this control panel real quick. So this is the other portion of your control panel. You got your awning lights, porch lights. You got different, you got like a yellow light and a white light and your interior lights. If you notice when I did that, wouldn't that be annoying if you had to have all your lights on the entire time? What about when you're just relaxing? Some companies, if you turn your lights on, you have to put them on the whole time. You can't turn them off. Nobo actually gives you the option to turn them off individually. So if you do want to have, you know, kind of an ambiance going on, you don't want to have all the lights on, you can do that with this. And then very basic control panel, because you aren't worrying about the slide out or anything like that. You got your bottle opener as well as your key holders right there. Come on, you know you want that sink. I'm super hurt about that. I don't know why they did that. I'd take the sink out. That was one of the coolest parts in the kitchen. If we come right here, I will pause. That way you could kind of get an idea of stuff in case I missed it. So we are in the Beastmode package. Like I said, 400 watts of solar and 2000 watt inverter. Whereas if you don't, you get the 200 watts of panel. And I'll point out some other stuff. We're going to talk about construction as well as wall construction and some of the features out here. There's your taco stand. So this is why I said it would be cool if they put like a handle, because as you can see, I'm 5'7". It's a little higher once it's open. So I was still easily able to like pull the window down, but like I said, I'm just nitpicking. And now my camera's following me again. All right, let's move to the front. You do have your electric tongue jack, your docking lights down here, and docking lights up and around. Look at that nice mean looking fiberglass cap. Doesn't it look good? You got your 20-pound propane tanks, dual battery, or it does come with the dual battery box, and then your battery disconnect right there. So when you're ready to store this thing, you don't have to unhook all your batteries. You just shut them off right there. What do you guys think of the green on the outside? I think it's cool. It's a little more easy on the eyes out in the forest instead of a bright white trailer. If we flip this up, see these luggage latches, the slam latches? You will not get those if you don't get the beast mode. Like if you get the essentials only, you will lose these nice latches. Whereas the other ones, you know, you have to twist. These are much nicer. You got the magnet right there and tons of storage. Look at that. So, a lot of storage all the way past through, same size. The door is the same size on both sides. Your storage is going to be 27 by 94 and 20 inches tall. It does get a little shorter right here because of this little cut in there. So 27 by 94 and 20 inches tall. It is raining on me. The doorway is going to be 20 by 13. So just to give you an idea of what room you have right here, 20 by 13 for the doorway and 27 by 94 and 20 inches tall for the storage. One thing I do want to point out, if we come in here, you see all that aluminum framing? So this is a 6-side aluminum frame trailer, meaning the front wall, the back wall, both side walls, the roof, and the floor are all aluminum. It's going to make it a lot lighter, a lot stronger, just a much better build quality. When you're out looking at trailers, definitely ask the sales guy, is it 6-side aluminum framed? Because if not, it means it's mixed with wood. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put a sticker on the side and say aluminum framing, and sometimes it could still be mixed with wood. Even underneath, you got treated wood all right here. It is not particle board and cheap. You do have a light right there as well. Like I said, your slam latches. And moving on. It does come with the griddle. I usually always show it. It's a flat top griddle, kind of like a Blackstone. It'll set on there. And then you got your table right here for maybe seasonings and stuff like that. And down below, you do have your propane connection where that yellow plug is. And of course, all your windows are tinted, so you do have privacy, whether you have your shades up or not. And then you do have an outlet right here for the hose. So you get this coil hose right here that will hook up if you need to spray the dog off, spray the grill off, whatever you want to do. And then you have your outlets right here if you want to bring your TV out. And then there is your awning lights and kind of like your porch light. That will change colors, and a nice big awning. And it looks like it does not have outdoor speakers because they gave you that little Bluetooth speaker. And then you have your solid steps that will just fold into the doorway, and a glass door. Look how fancy that is. That looks cool. I like the goat, but they trick you because you can't see out of it. So it's purely aesthetic, but you can see out the window. We will get to the beast mode once we kind of wrap around, show you some of this. You can plug in another solar panel right here if you wanted to. I don't see the reason to, but because it already has the 400 watts of solar. And then it does come with the mud tire, the spare, the same as all the other tires. Some companies, they won't give you the same tire. It is prepped for a camera, backup camera. Those range from like 350 to 450, depending on the size of the screen. And I know, boo, it's prepped for the ladder. So you have to buy the ladder. It's like a telescoping ladder. It is nice though, because it's lighter and you could store it because it like telescopes in. Now coming over here, nothing really to show here, so we'll kind of probably just go to the other side. Like I said, no slide out. Very simple. This is a 30 amp plug. And then you got your black tank flush when you're ready to clean out the tanks. Stick with me because we're going to talk about wall construction, and I'm going to show you the beast mode. You got your city water and your potable water right there for dry camping, and the same size door that I told you. So now to the main event. Look at this. So You got a lift on it already. You got the off-road tires, so it is sitting a little higher. And then, of course, see if I can crawl down here. Check it out. How sweet is that? So you got the Beast Mode package, the Kurt independent suspension. If you notice, there is no axle there. So if you're going on rugged terrain and there's like big boulders in the middle of the road, you don't have to worry about your axles hitting them. I believe it gives you about 5 inches of flex, so it's going to absorb a lot of that shock. You got to imagine how much better is this going to tow, but also how much is it going to absorb that shock if you hit a pothole or, you know, a big rut or something. It's not going to transfer all that stress into the frame of the trailer. So not only is it going to tow better, it sits higher, and it's just going to really help the longevity of this trailer. As you can see, it's all buttoned up nicely, enclosed and heated underbelly like I told you. If you do notice, and we step back too, it does have, let's see, I'll show you over here. It's also got like a dovetail to it on the back, so it kind of gets higher towards the back. So you got to imagine when you're going down like steep hills and you come up, and that's when people tend to drag like their stabilizers or all their plumbing. You will not have to worry about that as much because of that dovetail that is going up right there. And your plumbing looks like it's at a very good height. You got your black and gray right there. So that dovetail, the lift, the suspension, all that is really going to help, you know, if you're going on that rugged terrain. Now let's talk about wall construction. Really has to do with this right here. So the way they make these walls is it'll go fiberglass, then it'll either go Luan or a composite material, then your rigid block foam, then your aluminum framing, and then your inner walls. Luan is just a thin sheet of wood that goes across the whole trailer. What happens when wood gets wet? It starts to get moldy, mildew, it starts to literally deteriorate, and then what happens is you get what's called delamination, so your walls literally start to separate. That is not good. I'm sure you've seen it out there when walls, like on older trailers, are starting to bubble. That's because water has literally gotten in the walls and now it's starting to separate. This composite material, this is actually the brand. It is not that is not what the composite is called. That is just the brand of the material. Asdel, basically it's a waterproof material. It's impervious to water, as they say. So they actually took that material, stuck it in water for months and months and months, and it did not degrade or change at all. So Nobo actually does do that. They put that on behind this fiberglass instead of Luan, so that's going to help with delamination issues as well as the longevity of this trailer over the time that you own it. You can trust that it's going to hold up for you. Whew. That was a lot. So you can see why that is one of my favorite layouts. Not only because of the layout, but because of the quality of construction on this thing. You know, you got the Beast Mode suspension that's going to help the frame. You got 6-side aluminum framing. You got the Asdel composite outer walls. You got the solar. You got the inverter. You got the tank heaters. Like, this thing is set up to go off grid. And, you know, if you don't want to go camp next to people, on top of people, and you want to, you know, that's the point of camping, is getting away from people. That's what this trailer will do for you. People seem to love them a lot. So like I said, this is a factory fresh 2025. I'm not showing you something that's been sitting on the lot for 6 months. We got it yesterday. So if you want this one, I got one. It's going to save you money because it's a 25 model. Also, you're going to get the sink, which I think is a big deal. I would prefer the 25 over the 26 just for the sink, because they didn't really change anything on the 26 models. They did some small little things. So check out some of my other Nobo videos just so you can see if you can even spot the difference. I guarantee you can't spot the difference. Also, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you fast forwarded and didn't hear this, we are a sunshine law state, meaning that you can actually get our sales tax without having a physical address. I literally just ordered one of these Nobos, not this one, but I ordered a Nobo for a customer out in Arizona. He didn't know about the sunshine law here in New Mexico, and his taxes in Arizona, they do have a base tax of 6.2%. So it's already more right there than us. Then Arizona, for instance, has a county and city multiplier, which a lot of other states have too, like Texas, Colorado. The average base tax in Arizona after those county and city multipliers is 8.6%. 8.6 or 8.9% is what the average is. Then it gets all the way up to 11.9% depending on where you live in Arizona. So I'm talking, I could save you thousands of dollars because of, you know, this sunshine law we have here in New Mexico for recreational vehicles. Not to mention, this is probably the biggest thing that a lot of people miss when they explain this, is New Mexico will mail you out a form to re-register it here. Well, that is going to save you thousands and hundreds of dollars down the road as you own this thing, because registering something like this is probably going to be like 35 bucks a month. Super cheap compared to some places. Like I had a guy in Nevada that said it was $600 to register his travel trailer each year. That's a lot of money. I mean, I see the benefit of driving somewhere if you're going to save money long down the road. So definitely give me a call if you want to know where I'm located. I'm located at Albuquerque RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our phone number will be down below in the description. If you could, please, if you call in, just ask for Tyler. We are on a rotating list, so if you don't ask for me, you could end up with another sales guy. Also, I am not a full-time YouTuber. I am a full-time salesperson, so you could imagine how busy I am running back and forth. I've had customers come in and they're like, hey, that's the YouTube guy. And I'm like, dang it, I wanted to help you. So if you could, please call in, ask for me. Also, leave some comments if you have some questions down below. Let me know what you like, what you dislike. And like I said, every Sunday, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we go live where I can answer questions, talk RVs with you, show you a bunch of units. It's a very fun time. Also, if you're not, hit that subscribe button, baby. We are almost to 6,000 subscribers in a year of starting this page, and I am so grateful for all of you, especially all of you that are positive and not super negative, because I don't deal with that. I'll just mute you. This place is supposed to be happy and positive, so I appreciate all you positive people out there. I'm going to Oregon next week, so I'll try to take pictures and fun stuff and put it in the discussion so you can see what I'm up to. And I might go live and do a video while I'm there so you can hang out on the beach and see the view as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. I hope you have a good evening, a good afternoon, a good night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys. God dang it, it's doing it again. See you guys.